Harvard is facing one of the toughest challenges in its history as the US administration turns up the heat. In an exclusive ground report, we bring you voices from Harvard as they debate hard, stand firm, and defend their ground. Out of Harvard Yard, we're joined by Amir Dougley, who's going to be graduating from Harvard tomorrow, actually. But you are here at Harvard Yard watching all these students, have their commencement and graduate. What does it feel like to be a student at Harvard at this time?
It's surreal. There's a lot going on in the news, a lot of headlines, so it's a little bit of a tense time, but at the same time, it's definitely like we're celebrating. We're celebrating, putting in a lot of hard work, and we deserve to celebrate that. So yeah.
One of the things that's been huge for American education is its leadership across the world, and one of the aspects has been being welcoming to international students. And I don't know if you heard, but international student visas, interviews for those have been halted just recently. That means there's less chance of international students showing up at Harvard. How does that make you feel as an American citizen? Do you think that has an impact, and if so, what kind of impact?
It has an impact because the people make the place. If you're coming to a place and everyone's from the same place, it's not as eccentric, it's not as diverse. It's a lot of the same. So I feel like at a place like this, like no matter where you are, the people do make the place. Having different places and having different people to make that place is extremely important. I feel like it's something that should be reviewed and something that people should definitely 100% take a step back and beside yourself and where you're at, think about like all the different opportunities that are being held from others and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Now, you've studied psychology, right? When it comes to sciences and education, research is so important, and a lot of funding has been cut for Harvard, including a new recent one of another 100 million US dollars. How do you feel when federal funding is cut on research for you as a student and also your future in psychology and science? What impact can that have?
Yeah,
And does that worry you?
it definitely does worry me. At the end of the day, I'm first generation Ivy League student, so I didn't come in with the money that some of the other kids here have that, and I can't complain. I was funded very, very generously, so I'm thankful for that. But I feel like for the future generations, it's doing more harm than good, and I feel like they should have that opportunity. And it's a bit disappointing to say the least. And I hope that they change their mind on that and it's reviewed for sure.
So far, Harvard, the institution of Harvard is standing up to some of what President Donald Trump is trying to do to them, and there's so many cases now in court. So, how do you feel about Harvard's overall response in terms of trying to maintain its independence and how they choose their student body?
Yeah, integrity is a huge part of what we're taught. Harvard is supposed to be a place for great people, and at the end of the day, integrity is one of the greatest characteristics that a single person can have. So I feel like having that integrity and standing by your students and not necessarily just giving into the tyranny, taking a step forward and kind of standing up for your students is something that's huge, and I feel like Harvard's doing a good job of that, and I hope they continue to do so.
We now have a computer science student with us, Amulya Garamelia, who will be graduating also from Harvard this year, tomorrow actually. How are you feeling?
I feel incredibly grateful, not only to all my professors and teachers and my friends, but also my family members who made immense sacrifices for me to even be here. Like my dad's from a rural village, my mom is also from India, so they both immigrated here and they left their home that they knew to come here, so I could be born here and go to Harvard, and they also sacrificed a lot of fun and a lot of years of their life and a lot of other things like raising me. So for that all, I'm really grateful. It's only thanks to them and my family that I could be here.
But it also must have been an incredible amount of hard work for you. It's not easy to get into a university like Harvard, right? So how does that feel for you personally as well?
Yeah, it definitely feels like an accomplishment, but this is just one step on the road moving forward. I feel, again, like I'm just grateful to everyone who enabled, like, I don't know, I think you can work hard on a lot of different things. I'm really grateful that my family enabled me to work hard on things that I really care about, instead of, anything else that, that I could spend my time on.
Now, I'm guessing you were born here, and you
Yeah.
said your parents are from India, right? A lot of international students at Harvard, but now there's so much question around their future at Harvard because there's a chance that international students are no longer allowed. That's what the Trump administration is trying to do. How does that make you feel, even though you're not international yourself? How does that make you feel as a person of color?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of international friends, including like international students from India who I'm very close with. I think that they've obviously been such a big part of my college experience, and they really deserve to be here. I just see how hard they work, how they, and a lot of times support their family as well. So yeah, I think that international students are part of what makes Harvard Harvard. They also, I mean, I'm going to be a researcher. They do so much research work to, help cure diseases and do all sorts of other amazing things. So yeah, I mean, I think that they're definitely a big part of this school, and they're also, immigrants in general are a huge part of America. Like, that is kind of what we're built on, the fact that anyone can come here, work hard, and like build a good life and be part of the US, right?
Yeah, you brought up two things there, important things. One is research, and America is the leader when it comes to research, and funding for research now though is under question. Donald Trump, the president right now, wants to cut funding, has already cut funding on research for Harvard. Um, as someone who's graduating from Harvard now, does that make you feel concerned? Do you think it'll bounce back? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I don't know enough to, opine about whether it will bounce back, or kind of the bigger factors there. But I definitely feel concerned. I think that, I hear about certain clinical trials getting canceled, or certain research that, is supposed to be like life saving. Like, for example, like research on antibiotic resistance is getting canceled. I mean, these things are just really important to know more about, and they're important to, like, for example, like antibiotic resistance is really important to try to find antibiotics that can target antibiotic resistant bacteria. And so if that research is canceled, then like more people might die in the hospital in months or years, right? Which is really unfortunate. So of course, I think it's really important, and I feel concerned about it.
Yeah, yeah. And how are you feeling about your own future and in terms of what you want to do, also with computer science?
Yeah, so I'm hopefully going to be doing some work in computational biology. I think computer science has obviously a lot of promise to transform like how we ask questions, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to researching some interesting questions about aging, and hopefully using computation in an interesting way there.
Here at Harvard University, the center of a growing crisis in American academia, but also a very exciting time for many of the students here who are graduating from all the various different schools. And to talk to us about being at Harvard and what Harvard is undergoing and their personal reactions to everything are three young women from different schools who will be talking to us with their reactions and what it means for them to be a Harvard student at this time. We'll start with Uzma Farheen, who is graduating from the School of Public Health, and she is an international student. Now, international student visas have now been stalled, put on pause for at the moment in terms of interviews, new interviews. That was a recent announcement by the Trump administration. I'm just curious to ask Uzma, you're here, you finished your 1 year here as an international student. What has your experience been like?
Well, I think as an international student, and I'm from India, it's been really transformative. Um, Harvard is a place where you just feel so welcomed. Um, it is the diversity and how you just, your perspective, interacting with the, students coming from different countries. They are like, we are represented by more than 100 countries here.
Sharifa Shahai, sorry about that. Sharifa Sahai to my right, who was going to be graduating from GSAS as a School of Arts and Sciences in quantitative biology. When it comes to freedom of speech, you're an American student here. Do you think that Harvard has been able to protect that freedom of speech?
I think Harvard in general is a place that you can express your opinions pretty freely. There's people from a wide variety of walks of life, countries, regions. So I think there's people here from every spectrum, and they're all welcome to voice their opinion. I think some opinions definitely have been more difficult to voice here, and but I don't think that it's unwelcoming to any one group.
And what's your experience being like a student here? And how I see that you're a woman of color. I'm curious, like, what your experience has been with international students as well. Do you think they've made a difference to your life or to life in general at the Harvard campuses, given that now there are a lot of questions raised about their future at Harvard?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's always great to have diverse perspectives, and the international students here make up, a huge chunk of the community. And it's always great to have their perspectives, voices, opinions. I think science in general is best when you have people from lots of different backgrounds working toward the same goal.
Yeah. Talking about science, I want to come to you now. You are going to be graduating from Harvard College. Congratulations, firstly. You're Letitia Sefia. Firstly, what was your experience like just being at Harvard College?
Yeah, so I can honestly say it's been nothing short of transformative for me. I've definitely had my worldview of like several different phenomena completely changed by the people that I've met, the people that I've been grateful to encounter, the friends I've made, the lessons I've learned, the classes I've been taught. And yeah, I think transformative is a perfect way to describe what it's been like these past 4 years.
Harvard is a place where you just feel so welcome.
Family members who made immense sacrifices for me to even be here.
Well, we're going to see. Look, Harvard has been a disaster.
Trump has begun a dangerous march to roll back civil rights in this country.
Trump is using our international students as a bargaining chip.
What do we do? Stand up like that!
And now here's an interview by Gauri Dwivedi, my colleague, who's done an interview with Ryan Holiday, a master's student at Harvard Kennedy School.
Ryan Pryor joins me to talk more about what's really happening at the campus in Harvard. He is Vice President of the Student Coordinating Committee. And Ryan, let me start by asking you, we're speaking on a day when graduation ceremonies are taking place. So what's the mood really like at the campus? Somber, uncertain?
Yeah, no, it's an incredible mixture of joy and grief. So it's very bittersweet for many people because they're walking across the stage for graduation tomorrow on a day when they don't know if they're going to be legal residents of the U.S. About half the students at the school where I am at, which is the Harvard Kennedy School of Government, more than half of them are international students, and so they don't know if they'll be able to stay in the country afterwards. And many people have come to Harvard because they plan on working in the U.S. afterwards, and so there's tremendous uncertainty for many people, and so many of these people have phenomenal lives ahead of them, incredible leadership skills, and there's 11 heads of state that have gone through this master's program that I am in at the Kennedy School. So many of these people have the sky is the limit for what they're capable of doing, and they wanted to come spend a lot of their career working in the U.S. And so it's really sad to see people who believe so much in American ideals who don't have the opportunity to contribute to what makes our country great.
Mm-hmm. Ryan, is there a coordinated effort by your team to try and provide some answers, some solutions for students who are anxious about their present and, of course, about their future?
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time in community, communicating with basically 1,000 different students at the Kennedy School, and there's more than 10,000 graduate students across the campus. And a lot of it just waiting to hear about. There's going to be an important federal hearing tomorrow, which is on exactly the same day as commencement. We're hoping that Harvard has sued the federal government, and we're hoping that as the first part of that lawsuit is heard on Thursday, that could result in at least a short-term win for Harvard that could extend the runway for many of these students. But for right now, I think it's to spend time with family and try to drink in the joy of the occasion of many people have spent 5 or 10 years trying to prepare themselves to come to Harvard. And this is the culmination of an incredible accomplishment for so many people. So I think leaning into the joy of this moment is probably the most important thing, and being with family is a great joy, and many people are showing their families the tours of the campus and getting to meet so many different classmates. So that's a really positive thing that everyone's experiencing right now. And then in terms of it's very tricky with the immigration status, not knowing exactly the mechanisms by which these visas might get revoked. A lot of new visas are not being granted. We know that's happening in a lot of different countries. And so for people who already have an international student visa at Harvard, those are the ones who are in a particularly precarious position. And we're kind of just waiting and seeing and taking a lot of guidance from Harvard's international office to figure out how to manage the next steps. But I think it's wait and see and spending time with family, and then trying to hope for the best that many of these people might have some opportunity to stay in the country.
In terms of legal options, legal remedies, or potential legal options that students can evaluate, what is it that you are offering to them?
Yeah, my role is I'm one of the vice presidents on the Kennedy School Student Government, so I'm vice president of communications. So the specific role that I'm playing is just trying to help get the message out for the value that the international students bring to Harvard and bring to really to the country. And I was a journalist at CNN prior to coming to grad school, so I've been connecting a lot of the students here with TV networks who can give voice to what they're experiencing. And I want the world to really know that as a U.S. citizen, I've probably been at no other point have I been more proud to be an American than being in community with students from 96 different countries, all of whom really uphold the best in what America's ideals are, and who believe in what this country means. And so I want their predicament to be shown, but I also want to show what phenomenal leaders so many of them are, and how profoundly lucky we should all feel as Americans to have them here in the country. And in terms of the specifics of the immigration status, I'm not an expert in that aspect of it, but we're waiting. We are receiving a lot of good guidance from Harvard as an institution to try to get through the specifics of it. But one thing I will note with the way that the Harvard has filed these lawsuits, and its primary interest is defending its own longevity as an institution, while Harvard tries to preserve itself as a university in the first place, a lot of people experience tremendous pain in that process, and many individual lives are upended in ways that Harvard cannot fully account for, and that's really a very sad thing. And I think that leaders in Washington should really be mindful of the fact that they're really potentially ruining so many people's lives and having to destroy a lot of dreams of people who felt that they have been such high achievers their entire life. And we should be lucky to have those people in this country.
I'm glad you're saying that, Ryan, but the sense one gets is that this crackdown is far from over, and it seems that Trump administration is looking to take more steps in an ongoing battle. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, exactly. And it seems complete. The current administration in Washington feels completely as though they're trying to ideologically occupy Harvard and take control of it in every possible way that they can. Or what may end up happening is it's going to systematically destroy or dismantle or turn Harvard into some kind of zombie institution where it still exists, but it almost has no power. So those are all likely. This is all going to take place as a much longer term battle over the next probably 3.5, if not more years. And the Trump administration has more up its sleeve in terms of potentially looking into taking away Harvard's nonprofit status. They've already taken away essentially all federal grants that the university has, and they're also looking into other options in terms of accreditation status. And it's not Harvard is a the crown jewel of American higher education, and it's really an extremely powerful symbol. So going after Harvard is really a way of going after the higher education system in general, and really a lot of the democratic institutions that we hold most dear in this country. So I feel very proud to be part of an institution that is upholding American ideals, and I hope that the rest of the country and the rest of the world really sees our Harvard's fight as valuable and worthy of support. So I'm hoping for the best, and I will do anything I can over the next 1 to 3 years as an alum to uphold an institution that's transformed my life. It's been really the happiest time of my life to be at Harvard, and I hope that future students are able to experience the joy and the transformation that I've experienced this year.
Ryan, as we wrap things up here, I want to quickly ask you this. What's your message to all those Indian students who are watching this, evaluating opportunities at Harvard, but anxious and scared right now? Quickly.
And just truly, my first message would just be that I'm sorry and I apologize that this is happening to you. Also, congratulations that on coming as far as you've come, and I would feel honored to have you in this country, and I think so many Americans would love for you to get to experience your dream here. I would, being very realistic, I think people should have other options. Consider whether they should go to school in a different country or go to school and go to a different school within the U.S. That's something that they have to keep in mind. But also take a deep breath and follow this as it's moving, and also have some faith that the American judicial system still has an important way of providing a check and balance on executive power that is being used unjustly. And it could turn out that things work out, but at least for the time being,
right.
Obviously, if you can remove any posts from your social media that might
right.
be political in some nature, and that could be a detriment for the visa process. Many people have found that to be the case, and but I hope overall that the American tradition of free speech is preserved, and I think that I would love for them to be able to come here and be part of this great tradition that we've had for 250 years.
All right, let's leave it there. Ryan, a cautious note at which we are wrapping this up. Thank you so much for joining me on this edition of this very special show on Trump's crackdown on Harvard.